All the exciting action of today's game brought to you by Hawley Tax Service, by Ed Moyer's Campground, by Bob Bass Glass and Body Shop, by Tiffany's Fireside Inn, by BC's Cafe, by Wartaker's Men's Clothing, by Cole's Bicycle Appliances, by Hopcraft Insurance, and by Cumberland Valley Camping. I'll be back with a preview of today's contest right after these messages.
Mr. Ed Moyer of Moyer Campground invites you to discover a friendly place you'll want to come back to. Nestled in the rolling blue mountains of south central Pennsylvania, and guess what? It's here, right in our own backyard. Discover swimming, sports, camping, and all types of recreation, and just plain having fun, or toasting marshmallows over an open fire. We're happy to sponsor the Carlisle Thundering Herd on their bid for a 4th straight PIAA title. Way to go, and congratulations from Ed Moyer of Moyer's Mountain Retreat and Campground. Phone 1-800-231-2267. That's 1-800-231-2267. Hawley Income Tax Service of Mount Holly Springs reminds you that now is the time to do your taxes. And by filing early, you'll miss the last-minute rush, and you get refunds back a lot quicker. The new tax laws? Well, they're no mystery to Hawley Income Tax Service. Be assured that your taxes will be filed correctly when you use the Hawley Income Tax Service. That's Hawley Income Tax Service of Mount Holly Springs. Phone 1-800-231-2267. That's 1-800-231-2267.
The Carlisle Thundering Herd comes into today's game with a perfect 27-0 record and a 32-game winning streak going back into last season. But despite the fact that the Herd has won 3 straight state titles, Carlisle is not the defending District 3 champion. The last Carlisle loss was in last year's district title game, and in fact it was Harrisburg that has won the last 2 district crowns in succession. For Carlisle, a win today should send them into state tournament play as the top seed in the East. So the Herd should have ample motivation against Chambersburg, despite the fact that Carlisle has already beaten the Trojans twice this season by scores of 82-55 on January 5th and 87-67 on February 9th. But the big story today is that Billy Owens, Carlisle's 6'9" All-American center, has come down with the flu and is running a temperature of 102 degrees. If Owens can't go, he'll be replaced by Sheldon Bream, but the loss of Owens could be devastating to Carlisle's hopes for a 4th straight state title. Chambersburg is an outstanding young team with excellent depth. The Trojans are 21-5 following a last-minute victory over Cumberland Valley on Wednesday. The Trojans are led by brothers Sean and Spencer Schaefer. Sean is a 6'3" sophomore center who averages 15 points and 6 rebounds per game, while Spencer is a 6-foot junior guard averaging 12.7 points per game. Steve Rocks is also an excellent player, capable of playing guard or forward and averaging 11.8 points and 6 assists per game. Mike Ryan, Tyke Quivers, Ken Stepler, and Kent Myers will also see considerable playing time as coach Russ Waring is not afraid to go 8 or 9 players deep. Carlisle has been plagued by slow starts in each of its first 3 playoff games, and coach Dave Lebo has been forced to go to the bench early. Sheldon Bream has done an excellent job filling in for Kurt Bramlich, who has struggled in the playoffs so far. But if Owens can't play, Lebo will have to get a good game from Bramlich and Todd Ewell, because Bream will not be available from the bench. I expect Chambersburg to give Carlisle its most severe test of the tournament so far today, but even without Owens, the Herd should prevail. The Herd has too much talent and experience for Chambersburg, but it won't be easy without Billy. Well, that's the way I see it. We'll be back with the starting lineups in the opening tip-off after these messages.
For over 30 years, the Hopcraft Insurance Agency of Carlisle has met the insurance needs of people and businesses throughout Cumberland County with a successful tradition of personalized service. That tradition continues today. From one winning team to another, Hopcraft Insurance congratulates Carlisle's Thundering Herd on their current winning season and wishes them best of luck in their pursuit of a 4th consecutive state championship. For whatever your insurance needs, let Hopcraft Agency develop a winning game plan for you. Hopcraft Insurance, 11 East High Street in Carlisle. Bob Bass Auto Body Glass Service On the Holly Pike Carlisle would like to remind you that they are big enough and yet small enough to handle all your bodywork, collision, or just a broken window or windshield. Take it to Bob Bache and get your free estimate. You'll be delighted with the quality of work that's done as well as the prices. That's Bob Bache Auto Body Glass Service on the Holly Pike, Carlisle. After the big game, the place to go is Tiffany's Fireside Inn. Specialized in steak and seafood. Meet your friends and dine in a congenial atmosphere. Tiffany's Fireside Inn also features facilities for banquet and catering. So for a good night out that's sure to be remembered, it's Tiffany's Fireside Inn, 823 Newville Road, Carlisle. Phone 249-3718. Cole's Bicycles of Carlisle remind you that now's the time to tune up your bikes. Take advantage of their complete service center. Or if you'd like to do it yourself, stop in and rent a video on how to. That's right, how to do anything from fixing home appliances to working on your car. They have them all for you. How-to videos available at Cole's. That's Cole's Bicycles, congratulating the Carlisle Thundering Herd.
Back at the State Farm Show Arena, where we're about ready to go with this District 3 Quad A Championship game. In the consolation game just concluded here, it was Warwick breaking open a close game in the final quarter to beat Cumberland Valley, the Cinderella team of the tournament, by a score of 53-43. Getting ready for the player introductions. Carlisle will be the home team. They'll be wearing white, and Chambersburg will be the visitors. They'll be wearing black. Starting at guard for Chambersburg, Steve Ross, number 34, 6'1" senior, averaging 11.8 points per game. The other guard, number 42, Spencer Schaefer, a 6-foot junior. He averages 12.7 points per game. At forward, number 44, Mike Ryan, a 6'3" senior, averaging 9.7 points per game. Ty Quivers is the other forward. He's number 23, a 6-foot junior. Had an ankle injury, missed part of the season, but he's been back in the lineup for about 5 games in a row now. And the starting center, number 35, Sean Schaefer, a 6'3" sophomore, averages 15 points per game. Head coach is Russ Moyer. For the Carlisle Thundering Herd, the guard, number 11, Mike Coleman, a 5'11" senior. He averages 5.6 points per game. The other guard, number 31, Todd Yule, a 6-foot senior, averaging 9.2 points per game. Lee Woodall is at 1 forward. He's number 43, a 6'1" senior, averaging 11.7 points per game. And the other forward, number 24, Kurt Brownlock, a 6'2" junior, averaging 9.9 points per game. And Billy Owens will start. Billy Owens, the All-American, number 32, 6'9" senior, averaging 34 points per game. He has the flu. His temperature this morning, 102 degrees. He did not come here with the team. He came later, arriving at 3 o'clock as his dad drove him up. But Billy will be in the starting lineup for today's game. So the Carlisle fans breathing a sigh of relief with the news that Billy will start, that's for sure. Not as big a crowd as we had here on Wednesday night when we had standing room only, a crowd of about 8,200 on Wednesday night. Tonight there are some open seats at the ends of the arena, a crowd probably in the neighborhood of 6,000 to 6,500. As we mentioned, these two teams played twice during the regular season. Carlisle winning the first game 82-55 on January 5th, and then winning again on February 9th, 87-67. Billy Owens to jump it against Sean Schaefer. Carlisle controls the tip. We're underway. Bramlett out to Coleman. Chambersburg playing man-to-man. Yule. Jumper rolls around and is batted out, but it's goaltending. Basket will count. Ball was going through the cylinder when it was batted out. No basket. No basket. Offensive goaltending. Crowd does not like that call. Underneath is Mike Ryan with the first bucket of the ball game. Chambersburg leads it 2-0. Owens with the basketball for Carlisle, gets it to Bramlett. Yule In the paint to Owens, spins and scores. Tight Quivers. Quivers deals it off underneath to Schaefer, and Sean Schaefer. And Chambersburg goes on top 4-2. Woodall. Pass for Owens underneath off the glass and gets his rebound in. So Owens off to a quick start. He had started slowly in the game on Wednesday night. Only hit 2 free throws in the entire first period, but Billy with the first 4 points today. Sean Schaefer rebounded by Owens, and the pass is stolen. And that's going to be goaltended. Credit the basket to Steve Ross. And Chambersburg back on top 6-4. Both teams starting off quickly here this afternoon. Bramlich's pass batted out of bounds by Spencer Schaefer. Carlisle will keep possession. Woodall. Yule out to Coleman. Owens comes outside. Fakes Schaefer, and then is trapped in the corner. Good pass to Woodall, and Woodall scores. Lee Woodall, game tied at 6. We've played less than 2 minutes. And there's the first turnover against Chambersburg. Errant pass going out of bounds will give Carlisle possession. Lee Woodall inbounds it. Owens comes outside for the ball, then gets to Coleman in the corner. Coleman's pass intended for Owens led him by too much, out of bounds, and the turnover against Carlisle, the first against the Herd. So still even at 6. Carlisle trapping in the backcourt. Getting it across is Ross. Now it's taken away by Carlisle. Ahead to Coleman. Coleman lays it up and in. So Carlisle with the lead. 8-6. Schaefer, blocked by Owens. Yule takes it all the way and scores. Carlisle with their biggest lead, and another turnover as Coleman intercepts the inbounds pass. And this pass is, I believe they're going to call it a kick ball. So Carlisle will keep possession. First substitutions of the game, Kent Myers comes into the ball game in place of Mike Ryan for Chambersburg. Owens follows his own shot, scores, and he's fouled. Foul is against Kent Myers, who had just come into the game. That's his first personal and the first foul of the ball game. So Carlisle got off sluggishly in its first 3 playoff games. Not today. 12 points already for Carlisle, and we've played less than 3 minutes. Owens misses the free throw. Woodall with the rebound, and it goes through. Carlisle up by 8. I believe that's a 10-point Carlisle run. Yule takes it away. And he's going to be called for Pullman. Tight Quivers brings it up court for Chambersburg. Schaefer over Owens. Won't go. Rebound controlled by Coleman. Carlisle looking to run. Coleman. Jumper won't go. Rebound taken down by Ross. Rebound followed up and in by Spencer Schaefer. And the lead down to 6, 14-8. 4 minutes remaining to play in the first period. Owens. Over to Coleman. Whistle. 3 seconds. Sheldon Bream comes into the lineup for Carlisle. Kurt Gramlich will get a rest. Steve Rotz brings it in. Traveling. 5th turnover against Chambersburg. Mike Coleman. Over to Yule. Bream. Inside to Owens, and he's fouled. I believe the foul is going to go against Kent Myers. It is. Second foul on Myers. And the second team foul against the Trojans. Ken Stapler comes into the lineup, replacing Kent Myers. Stapler is 6'3" and senior. Bream left open underneath, reverses his layup and misses it, but a foul. Foul on the rebound is going to go against Ken Stapler. Now correct that, they've ruled out an offensive foul against Carlisle. Against Owens. Basketball here in the early going. Owens posting up low, turns, shoots. Won't go. Bream with the rebound. Owens tips it twice. Owens the third time and gets it. Billy Owens with 8 points already here in the first quarter. Quickly back the other way. And laying it in is Spencer Schaefer for Chambersburg. Cuts the lead back to 6 at 16-10. Bream's pass picked off by Sean Schaefer, and he loses it in the lane. Woodall back up to Bream. Bream, foul is going to be a blocking foul. Could have gone either way, but it's going to go against Chambersburg. It's going to be on Ken Stepler, his second. So the third team foul against Chambersburg. And Mike Ryan will check back in for Chambersburg. Sean Schaefer going to the bench. Bream. Bream had the shot, elected not to take it. Woodall. Lee Woodall with the bucket. 6 points for Woodall. Carlisle up by 8. And a whistle. Foul on Sheldon Bream. Billy Owens has gone to the Carlisle bench. Kurt Gramlich checking back in. Carlisle getting off to the early lead. And with Owens under the weather, Coach Lebo elects to give him an early rest. 3-point shot by Quivers won't go. Ryan is going to be called for a travel. 8th turnover already here in the first period against Chambersburg. Carlisle a chance to go up by 10. Bream on the high post, gives it over to Yule. Woodall takes a shot from just inside the paint, rebounded by Coleman. Yule gets it over to Gramlich. Back out to Coleman. Saves it on the sideline. Yule with the jumper, off the glass and in. So a 10-point Carlisle lead, their biggest of the game, threatening to blow out the Trojans early. Inside, and the foul is going to go against Lee Woodall. And that will send Ken Stepler to the free throw line. Third team foul against Carlisle. Ken Stepler averaged 6.2 points per game during the regular season, has not yet scored in the playoffs. Makes the first free throw. Woodall rebounds the second one. Just inside 1 minute remaining to play here in the first quarter. Carlisle having trouble getting it inside against that man-to-man defense. See if they elect to hold for one. 30 seconds remaining. And a foul. It'll be a blocking call. And it's going to go against Tyke Quivers. First personal against Quivers. Fourth team foul. Billy Owens will come back in for Carlisle after getting a rest in place of Kurt Bramlett. 21 seconds remaining to play in the first period of this District 3 Quad A championship game. Coming your way on Channel 65, your Metro Harrisburg station for sports. Owens. Well, I don't know. I'd give him about a 5.8 for technical merit, maybe a 5.9 for artistic impression on that done. How about that shot? Spencer Schaefer. And that'll complete the period. What a shot by Spencer Schaefer, though, for Chambersburg. We've completed one period of...
There go, Carlisle Thundering Herd from Jim and Betty Spangler of Cumberland Valley Camping Center on the Harrisburg Pike, Carlisle.
Back at the State Farm Show Arena, the Carlisle Thundering Herd getting off to a quick start today. They've jumped ahead by a 22-13 score after one period of play. Both teams shooting very well from the field. Both teams hitting at 50%, but the big factor so far has been the fact that Chambersburg has turned over the basketball 8 times. Billy Owens, who we weren't sure if he was going to start today, with 10 points already for Carlisle, and Lee Woodall with 6 points for the Herd. Carlisle also a big edge in the rebounding. They've out-rebounded Chambersburg 11-4 so far. Spencer Schaefer gives it back to his brother Sean. And Owens comes up with, or Coleman comes up with the ball after the block. Bream out front to Woodall, underneath to Owens. Okay, let's give him a 5.8 again and maybe a 5.9 on the artistic impression. He's got to do that backwards dunk for a 6-0. Coleman is going to be fouled by Quivers. Second foul on Quivers. And the 5th team foul. So the bonus will be in from here on out, but a shooting foul will send Mike Coleman to the line to shoot a pair. Chambersburg has had trouble defending Carlisle the first 2 meetings, as Carlisle hit 82 points in the first one, 87 in the second one, and Carlisle again scoring a lot of points here in the early going today. Mike Coleman with the 26th point of the game, and Carlisle has doubled Chambersburg. They now lead 26-13. Steve Ross gets it over to Spencer Schaefer, into Sean Schaefer. Schaefer shooting over Owens, won't get it to go, but Ross follows it up and in. 4 points now for Ross, trims the lead to 11. Yule with the lob to Owens, and he's fouled. Not sure who the foul was on. I believe it was on Tyke Quivers. That would be the 3rd on Quivers. That's on Steve Ross. First on Ross. Quivers comes out of the game, though. And Billy Owens will go to the free throw line to shoot a pair. Billy misses the first free throw. hits on 1 of 2. And it's a 12-point Carlisle lead. Rocks. This is Steppler. Rebound fought for Schaefer. Schaefer hooks it up, no good, out of bounds, Carlisle ball. .6:45 remaining to play in the first half. The Herd up by 12. Coleman being covered by Spencer Schaefer. And it's kicked out of bounds by Spencer Schaefer. Carlisle will keep possession. Woodall with a good move to the hoop, off the glass, scores, and he's fouled. Lee Woodall with a nice move. The foul is going to be on Ken Steppler. Second personal on Steppler. Sends Lee Woodall to the line for a chance to complete the three-point play. Woodall in with 8 points already tonight. Points for Woodall. Schaefer gets it across the timeline. Coleman hounding him. Over to Steppler.
Nice maneuver. Just literally picked up the feet of Iron Mike Sharp and let all the 280-some pounds fall to the canvas. Kick the midsection. Brown fans.
And he lays it in. And Carlisle is turning this one into an early... Ramla. Chambersburg appears to be too slow for Carlisle. They can't keep up with them. Yule's shot no good. Owens with the rebound. Woodall. Over to Gramlich. Owens. Trying to get it inside to Owens. Picked off. Rocks takes it all the way. And a foul before the shot. Foul's going to go against Todd Yule. Fourth team foul against Carlisle. First personal on Yule. And Coach Russ Warrick of Chambersburg decides that he better talk the situation over with his team, so there's timeout on the court. Carlisle leading it by a score of 32-15.
Mr. Ed Moyer of Moyer's Mountain Retreat and Campground invites you to discover a friendly place you'll want to come back to. Nestled in the rolling blue mountains of south central Pennsylvania, and guess what? It's here, right in our own backyard. Discover swimming, sports, camping, and all types of recreation. And just plain having fun, or toasting marshmallows over an open fire. We're happy to sponsor the Carlisle Thundering Herd on their bid for a fourth straight PIAA title. Way to go, and congratulations from Ed Moyer of Moyer's Mountain Retreat and Campground. Phone 1-800-231-2267. That's 1-800-231-2267. Holly Income Tax Service of Mount Holly Springs remind you that now is the time to do your taxes. And by filing early, you'll miss the last-minute rush. And you get refunds back a lot quicker. The new tax laws? Well, they're no mystery to Holly Income Tax Service. Be assured that your taxes will be filed correctly when you use the Holly Income Tax Service. That's Holly Income Tax Service of Mount Holly Springs. Phone 1-800-231-2267. That's 1-800-231-2267.
Couple program reminders for you. We've got Silver Springs Auto Racing back on Channel 65 every Monday and Wednesday night at 6:30 with Bob Weber. The new season beginning out at Silver Springs on March the 28th. Until then, the best of Silver Springs every Monday and Wednesday night on Channel 65. And Harrisburg Senators baseball will return to Channel 65 on April 8th. Channel 65 will carry 26 Harrisburg Senators games exclusively on your Metro Harrisburg station for sports. this game today will move on in the state tournament to play on Tuesday night at a site and against an opponent as yet unknown. We'll have that game for you on Wednesday night on Channel 65 at 8:30 p.m. and you'll also see it on Carlisle Cable Dow 13 beginning at 7:30 p.m. So far in the second period, Carlisle outscoring Chambersburg by a 10-2 margin. They've opened up a 17-point lead, 32-15. Steve Rotz to the free throw line. Rotz misses the first one. Rotz averaged 11.8 during the regular season, 9 points per game during the playoffs so far. Makes the second one, and it's a 32-16 ball game. Coleman working against Spencer Schaefer, gets it into Owens. He spins, shoots, won't go. Rebound fought for and a foul. Foul against Chambersburg. It's going to go against Mike Rhine. First personal against Rhine. Lee Woodall will go to the free throw line. Woodall coming off a 19-point effort against Warwick on Wednesday night. Has 10 already here this afternoon. Matt Smith comes in for Carlisle in place of Todd Yule, and Sheldon Bream checking back in place of Kurt Gramlich. Woodall shot off the front of the rim. Owens rebounds it. Won't go through. Chambersburg looking to run, but the pass is picked off by Smith. Carlisle got back quickly and broke up the fast break. Another turnover, the 10th of the ball game against Chambersburg. Coleman with the jumper from the right side foul line extended, and it's a 35-16 lead for the Thundering Herd. Chambersburg just can't keep with them. Almost another turnover. Held ball. Possession arrow will go to Carlisle, so it is another turnover. And Chambersburg, to have any chance against Carlisle today, would have had to play a near-perfect game, and they are not playing it. Chambersburg really struggling. Matt Smith over to Gramlich. Dave Lebo substituting very liberally now with the big lead in the early going. Gramlich. Kurt Gramlich with the basket. And it's a 21-point Carlisle lead. Rotz over to Schaefer. Spencer Schaefer cuts the lead to 19, 37-18, 3:30 remaining to play in the first half. Gramlich, and going to be a turnover against Carlisle. Second turnover here in the second period, 6th overall against the Thundering Herd. Steve Rotz brings it up the floor. Gives it over to Tyke Quivers. Spencer Schaefer. Rebound by Owens. Matt Smith with a good pass to Owens, or to Bream. He gives it to Gramlich, and he travels. Good pass from Matt Smith to Bream, and then Bream with a little touch pass over to Gramlich, but Gramlich traveled. Matt Smith comes out of the ballgame. Mike Coleman coming back in for Carlisle. Tyke Quivers. Over to Sean Schaefer. Steve Rotz. Back to Quivers. Quivers with a nice move to the basket, getting around Yule and laying it in. First bucket for Quivers, and it's a 37-20 game. Woodall over to Bream. Yule won't go. And a foul underneath. Foul is on Steve Rotz. His second personal foul. And Lee Woodall will go to the free throw line. Quivers, Rotz, Stepler, and Myers now all with 2 personal fouls for Chambersburg. Carlisle does not have anyone with more than 1 personal foul. Woodall misses the free throw. Rotz gives it back to Quivers. Sean Schaefer with the bucket. Sean Schaefer averages 15 points a game. That's only his 4th point here in the first half. Pass inside for Owens, batted out of bounds by Ken Stepler. Kent Myers comes back in for the Trojans. Spencer Schaefer comes to the bench. Better hurry. We get it into Coleman. Owens, three-pointer. Bang! Billy Owens, he's not playing like a sick man. Owens now with 16 points, and it's a 40-22 lead for the Herd, and another turnover against Chambersburg. 12 turnovers now against the Trojans. A chance for Carlisle to go up by 20. Owens tried getting it to Bream. Bream went inside. Owens looks for him to come back outside, and the pass goes out of bounds. The 8th turnover charge to the Herd. Chambersburg substituting again. They substitute every time there's a whistle. Steve Rotz bringing it up. Minute and a half remaining to play in the first half. Carlisle up by 18. Shot forced up by Mike Ryan, and he's fouled. Foul is against Mike Coleman, his first. And that will send Mike Ryan to the free throw line. Spencer Schaefer coming back in the game for Chambersburg. Ryan's free throw won't go through. Ryan misses them both. Coleman with the rebound for Carlisle. Chambersburg only 1 out of 4 from the free throw line so far. Matt Smith. Billy Owens has checked out of the game again for Carlisle. Big lead. Dave Levo will give Owens a rest until halftime with just a minute remaining to play in the first half. Woodall to Coleman. Woodall has it batted out of bounds from behind by Sean Schaefer. Carlisle keeps possession. 49 seconds remaining to play in the first half. Carlisle appears to be playing for one shot. Smith gives it off to Woodall. Back to Bream. 30 seconds remaining. Woodall's left open. Banks it off the glass and in. And a 20-point Carlisle lead. 18 seconds remaining in the first half. Tyke Quivers with the jumper from the foul line gets it through. Quivers with his second bucket. 3 seconds remaining. Coleman from midcourt. And there's the horn. We've completed one half of play at the Farm Show Arena. It's a blowout so far. Carlisle on their way to the district championship. They lead 42-24. We'll be back with a recap of the first half after this timeout.
Over 30 years, the Hopcraft Insurance
Game going their way, leading by a score of 42-24, and really, surprisingly, outclassing Chambersburg here this afternoon, especially with Billy Owens coming in off his sickbed. Billy with a temperature of 102 degrees this morning with the flu. We weren't sure if he'd be able to start, but Billy has started, and he has done a super job so far today for Carlisle. In the previous playoff games, Carlisle got off to a slow start. They did not get off to a slow one today, as they scored 22 points in the first period, 42 points in the first half, an 18-point lead, 42-24 here at halftime. Carlisle, of course, if they win this game this afternoon, will have won their 6th District 3 championship. Carlisle won their first one 1958-59. They won again in 61-62. Carlisle won again in 81-82. They won the 83-84 championship and the 84 and 85 championship before having Harrisburg take the district title the last 2 years in a row. But of course, Carlisle those 2 years and in 84-85 winning the state championship. Taking a look at the team statistics so far, Carlisle has had all the best of it. They've done it with their shooting, which has been extremely good in the first half, hitting 51% from the field. They've done it on the boards, and they've done the job defensively, forcing numerous Chambersburg turnovers. Carlisle has hit on 18 out of 35 field goal attempts, 51%. Chambersburg has gotten off only 25 shots, hitting 11 of them, 44%. Carlisle, 5 out of 8 from the free throw line, 63%. Chambersburg has been to the line 6 times. They've hit 2, 33%. Chambersburg, as we said, has had trouble hanging onto the ball. They've turned it over 12 times to Carlisle's 8. But the big statistic, the rebounds, where Carlisle has dominated the boards, especially the offensive boards, with a 21-9 edge in rebounding. Individually, Billy Owens, as we said, he's played, and he has played well. Although Coach Lebo has given him a lot more time to rest on the bench today than you would normally see. But Owens with 10 points in the first period, 6 more in the second period, 16 points, and 9 big rebounds for the All-American center. Lee Woodall, another fine game today, coming off his 19-point performance on Wednesday night with 12 points so far this afternoon. Michael Coleman in with 8 points and 4 rebounds. Todd Yule with 4 points, and Kurt Gramlich with 2 points. Sheldon Bream has yet to score, and also into the lineup today, Matt Smith has gotten some playing time, and he has yet to score for Carlisle. For Chambersburg, they've played a lot of people, about 8 or 9 people on the court so far, and their leading scorer so far is Spencer Schaefer. Schaefer with 8 points and 3 rebounds to lead the Chambersburg scoring parade. Steve Ross has 5 points for the Trojans and 3 rebounds. Sean Schaefer, 4 points, but he has not gotten a rebound yet, and that's a very surprising statistic when you figure that he is their center and stands 6'3" tall. Tyke Quivers, 4 points for the Trojans. Mike Ryan, 2 points, and Ken Stepler, the only points off the bench, he's in with 1 point. So a 42-24 lead for Carlisle, and they are well on their way to the District 3 championship. As we said, a victory today will send Carlisle on into postseason play beginning on Tuesday night at a site and against an opponent as yet unknown. But we'll have that game for you here on Channel 65 Wednesday evening beginning at 8:30, and on Carlisle Cable Dow 13 Wednesday evening beginning at 7:30. Chambersburg will also go on into state tournament play, as will the 2 teams that played the consolation game this afternoon, Warwick and Cumberland Valley. Warwick winning the consolation game by a score of 53-43 as the Warriors broke it open in the 4th quarter. Well, we're just moments away from the tip-off for the second half, so let's take time out for another commercial break, and we'll be back with second half action in just a moment.
Let us tell you about a great restaurant which features daily luncheons, dinner specialties such as prime rib, pastas, and seafood, delicious appetizers, and specializes in Mexican food. Well, it's BC's Cafe at 149 North.
Good rebound followed up and in by Spencer Schaefer. Gramlich's pass inside to Owens picked off. Rocks ahead to Spencer Schaefer, and he's fouled by Coleman. Make it Sean Schaefer fouled by Coleman. Mike Ryan will inbound it. Spencer Schaefer. Spencer Schaefer, the junior. His brother Sean, only a sophomore. Good pass underneath, and Mike Ryan lays it in. So the first 4 points of the second half belong to Chambersburg, and they've cut the lead to 14. Gramlich. His shot is blocked. And a kick ball. Carlisle keeps possession, so a break for the Herd. Make that Chambersburg keeps possession. That's right, the first time Carlisle keeps possession. Yule gets it into Bream. Lob for Owens. We'll give him a pair of sixes on that. Billy Owens. His third stuff of the night, and a 16-point lead for the Herd. Rocks with a nice running shot. Cuts the lead back to 14. Bream starting the second half in place of Gramlich for Carlisle. Owens comes up with the loose ball. Carlisle turns it over. Spencer Schaefer pulls up with the jumper. Schaefer with his own rebound. And gets it off the glass and through. 12 points now for Spencer Schaefer. And the lead back down to 12, 44-32. So Chambersburg has cut 6 points off the lead here in the first 2 minutes of the third period. Owens. Billy Owens with the jumper from the right side. 20 points now for Owens. Hard to tell that Billy Owens woke up this morning with a temperature of 102. Traveling. Gives the ball back to Carlisle. Coleman gives it to Owens. Owens loses the handle, but recovers, batted out of bounds. Carlisle keeps it. High school basketball coming your way as it has all season on Channel 65, your Metro Harrisburg station for sports. Todd Yule. To Lee Woodall, and he is fouled from behind by Spencer Schaefer. First personal on Spencer Schaefer. And the first team foul of the second half against the Trojans. Yule to inbound. Lobs it into Owens. Owens has it batted away from behind, but Woodall comes up with it. Owens, three-pointer. Bang! Billy Owens, second three-pointer of the night, and it's a 17-point lead for Carlisle. Billy did not have one of his better efforts of the season Wednesday night, and I know he wasn't happy about it, and he's making up for it today. Owens ahead of the pack, lays it off the glass and in. So Billy Owens with all 9 Carlisle points here in the second half, and the Herd now up by 19. Quivers lays it in for Chambersburg. 51-34 Carlisle. Lob to Owens, and Owens complaining that he was held. I believe he's correct. The pass for Owens was to lead him to the basket, and Owens couldn't get to the ball. He was being held, but no foul call. And Carlisle asked for a timeout, and Coach Dave Lebo giving the referees the business for that. No call. 4:30 remains to play here in the first half. Carlisle leads it by a score of 51-34. We'll be back in just a moment.
Mr. Ed Moyer of Moyer's Mountain Retreat and Campground invites
25 now for the big 6'9" senior, and it's Carlisle ahead by a score of 51-34. Midway through the third period of this District 3 championship game. And the Herd, the team that looked sluggish in their first three playoff games, victories over Gettysburg, Governor Mifflin, and Warwick, pouring it on this afternoon. Sean Schaefer. Owens with the rebound. Owens going to take it all the way himself. Pulls up for the jumper and scores. What a game Owens is playing this afternoon. Quivers. And his pass out of bounds. And they're going to roll that it was touched by Yule. Yule was playing Quivers right in his face, and he tipped the pass out of bounds. Rocks. Slips, goes to the floor. Spencer Schaefer. Sean Schaefer. Rebounded by Breen. Ahead to Owens, batted out of bounds. Carlisle will keep possession. A chance for the Herd to take their biggest lead of the afternoon. Out of bounds, Carlisle keeps it. Coleman. Over to Owens. Good pass to Bream. Bream lays it in. First basket of the afternoon for Sheldon Bream. And the first points in the second half for Carlisle for anybody besides Billy Owens. Sean Schaefer with the bucket. 6 points now for Sean Schaefer. 55-36 Carlisle lead. Woodall from the foul line. Owens with the rebound. And they're going to call it a blocked shot. Carlisle keeps possession. Possession arrow pointing in favor of the Herd. Underneath to Owens. Three men collapse on him. It's batted out of bounds. Chambersburg basketball. Mike Ryan passes it in for Chambersburg. Spencer Schaefer. Pass is blocked. Carlisle calming the call. Fifth turnover here in the third quarter against Carlisle. Quivers. Over to Schaefer. Mike Ryan from the side. Three-pointer from Mike Ryan. First three-pointer of the afternoon for Chambersburg. Cuts the lead back to 16, 55-39 in favor of Carlisle. Woodall. Lee Woodall. 14 points now for Woodall. Lead back to 18. 2 minutes remaining to play in the third quarter. Sean Schaefer, and he's fouled. Fouls on Sheldon Bream. First personal on Bream, and the second team foul in the second half against the Thundering Herd. Ken Stepler and Steve Rotz checking back in the lineup for Chambersburg. Sean Schaefer. First trip to the free throw line for Schaefer. Bags the first one. 7 points now for Sean Schaefer. Second one won't go. Rebound controlled by Owens. Rolls around and in. Billy Owens. And a 19-point lead once again for Carlisle. Quivers, three-pointer. They did not signal 3 points. He was outside the three-point line. They only gave him 2. Sure looked like 3 from here. Owens over to Bream. Carlisle running the motion offense. 1:13 remaining to play here in the third quarter. Chambersburg has gone man-to-man all the way, as has Carlisle. Carlisle looking for the good shot, trying to get it underneath for the layup. They'll take their time, play for the last shot if they have to. If they find somebody free underneath, they'll get it in and take it from there. 45 seconds remaining. There's Woodall open underneath. Bream hits him with a beautiful pass. And Woodall is fouled. So they ran the motion offense, waited for the back door to open up. It did. Bream got it to Woodall, and Woodall a chance for a three-point play. Foul on Ty Quivers was his third. Lee Woodall, 2 for 4 from the free throw line this afternoon. 17 points now for Woodall. And Lee Woodall will go to the bench to get a rest. Matt Smith coming back in for Carlisle. Pass thrown out of bounds. Carlisle ball. 4th turnover in the third quarter against Chambersburg, and the 16th overall. Woodall comes back in. Owens. Out to Coleman. 10 seconds remaining. Carlisle will now go into their offense. Owens in the paint, spins, puts it up, he's fouled. So Billy Owens fouled with 3 seconds remaining in the period. Foul is against Kent Myers, his third personal. Billy Owens to shoot a pair. Owens already with 13 points here in the third period. So Owens, his 14th point of the period, 30th overall. Owens has scored 38 and 37 in the previous 2 games against Chambersburg. Well on his way to that tonight. Shot beats the horn, but it does not go. So we've completed 3 quarters of play from the State Farm Show Arena. The Carlisle Thundering Herd, 63. The Chambersburg Trojans, 42. We'll be right back.
Over 30 years, the Hopcraft Insurance Agency of Carlisle has met the
53 to 42. And in that third period, Carlisle hit on 9 out of 11 shots from the field, 82%. Billy Owens hitting on 6 out of 7 shots from the field. Carlisle hitting 59% overall in the basketball game. What an afternoon for the Herd. Another turnover by the Trojans. Carlisle just blowing them off the floor this afternoon. Owens, jumper, off the back of the rim, rebounded by Spencer Schaefer. Roch with a good pass back to Spencer Schaefer. His shot off the glass, no good. Rebound fought for, controlled by Carlisle. Todd Yule. Carlisle shooting 59% for the ball game. Chambersburg only 34%. Carlisle dominating the boards. Carlisle dominating every aspect of this basketball game. Foul underneath. Going to go against Sean Schaefer. His first and the fourth team foul against the Trojans. One more and the bonus will be in. Michael Coleman. Lob into Owens, off the glass and in. So Owens now with 31 points. Underneath to Rotz. His layup won't go. Tipped back up and in. Steve Rotz with the tip in. 9 points now for Rotz. And it's 65-44. Out of bounds. Chambersburg possession. Rotz over to Quivers. Schaefer to his brother. Back to Quivers. Shot from the side by Schaefer. High off the rim, rebounded by Owens. Green gets it out to Owens. Owens. They only give him up to 6.0, but I'd have to give him a 9.0 for artistic impression on that one. 23-point Carlisle lead. Coleman. 25-point Carlisle lead. What a blowout. Rotz with the three-pointer. Green gives it over to Yule. Low post Owens. Owens spins. This one off the glass does not go through, or off the rim does not go through. Spencer Schaefer gives it up to Myers. Green with the rebound. Yule. Owens was open underneath. He'd have had a backward dunk on that one if they'd been able to get him to, but Quivers scores. 10 points now for Quivers. And Carlisle asks for the timeout. 4:49 remaining to play. Carlisle leads it by 20 at 69-49. We'll be back after this commercial timeout.
Let us tell you about a great restaurant which features
Warwick Tellis team. They trail by 20, and they have been simply outclassed here this afternoon by the three-time defending state champion Carlisle Thundering Herd. Just been a case of too much offense and too much defense. Carlisle has done everything well. They've controlled the boards. They've forced the turnovers. And Billy Owens with 34 points already for Carlisle. If you're wondering about Billy's season high, it's 53. That against Cumberland Valley. He won't get that this afternoon. Matt Smith gives it over to Bream. Underneath and laying it in is Matt Smith. Foul on Bream. Carlisle fans didn't like that call. Third team foul against Carlisle. Chambersburg did not get into the bonus in the first half, not in the bonus here in the second half. Rotz missing the three-point attempt. Carlisle running. Matt Smith over to Kurt Gramlich. Sheldon Bream. Owens. Good pass over to Bream. Billy Owens giving it over to Bream as he came down the lane. And a 24-point Carlisle lead. Spencer Schaefer's three-pointer won't go. Bream with the rebound. Inside 3.5 minutes remaining to play in the basketball game. Carlisle leading 73-49. Herd on their way to regaining their District 3 Quad A championship. Harrisburg held it for the last 2 years. Matt Smith. Owens, three-pointer. Short this time. Rebounded by Ross. Spencer Schaefer, three-point attempt, no good. Followed by Stepler, and he is fouled. Foul is on Sheldon Breen. Fourth personal on Breen. So Todd Yule will come back into the ball game. Yule comes in for Michael Coleman. Now Sheldon Bream also coming out, replaced by Lee Woodall. Ken Stepler shooting a pair. Stepler with 1 point in the ball game so far. Now 1 for 3 from the free throw line. Ridge Salter making his first appearance in the Chambersburg lineup. Steve Rotz comes to the bench. Stepler misses them both. Gramlich pulls it down for Carlisle. Smith gets it across the timeline. Smith takes it all the way, gives it off to Owens, no basket. Foul before the shot. Good penetration by Matt Smith, took it all the way down the lane, dished it off to Owens, but he was fouled before the shot. Matt Smith goes to the free throw line, shooting 1-1. Smith with his third point of the ball game. Billy Owens comes out of the ball game, and listen to the hand. Billy Owens leaves with 34 points, despite the fact that he played the entire game with the flu. What an impressive performance by the All-American. Smith makes them both, and Carlisle now with their biggest lead of the ball game, 75-49, a 26-point margin with only 2:30 remaining to play. Pat Yoakum. This is Bill Maughan. Chambersburg has cleared their bench. Yule. Over to Smith. Yule with a good pass to Gramlich, and Gramlich scores the basket. 4 points now for Gramlich, and it's a 77-49 lead for Carlisle. Inside 2 minutes remaining to play. 3-point attempt no good by Pat Yoakum. Smith takes it all the way, lays it in. Matt Smith. And it's a 30-point lead for Carlisle. Shot put up by Sam Miller. This is Yule. And he's fouled. The foul is against Sam Miller. So Todd Yule will go to the free throw stripe. Yule with 4 points in the ball game. And now Carlisle is going to clear its bench. misses the first free throw. Chad Petty has come into the game for Carlisle. Sam Miller misses the three-point attempt. Yule with the rebound. Yule and Gramlich, the only starters still on the court for the Thundering Herd. 1 minute remaining to play. Double dribble. Mitch Ortiz and John Mazius also coming in for Carlisle. So the Carlisle Thundering Herd getting a standing ovation from their fans. 58 seconds remaining to play in the ball game. It's been all Carlisle. They lead by 30. And they'll move on into state tournament play Tuesday night, going after their 4th consecutive PIAA Quad A championship. Matt Smith with a beautiful reverse layup. 8 points for Matt Smith and a 32-point lead for the Herd. Ball on the floor, fought for, and held ball possession will go to Carlisle. Carlisle coming in with 3 more substitutes. Jim Mumford checking in. So let's see if we can see who's out there now. It's Mumford, Cronin, Rich Cronin, John Mazius, and that does it. The ball game is over. The Carlisle Thundering Herd has defeated the Chambersburg Trojans by a score of 81-49. The Carlisle Thundering Herd, the District 3 Quad A champions. We'll be back with a recap in just a moment.
Mr. Ed Moyer of Moyer.
By a score of 81-49 over the Chambersburg Trojans. The award ceremony is underway. They've just completed presenting the runner-up awards to the Chambersburg Trojans, and now they're about to present the medals to the district champions, the Carlisle Thundering Herd. The 3-time defending state champions winning the District 2 champion, or the District 3 championship, as we said, for the 6th time, but for the first time after a 2-year layoff, as Harrisburg had won it the last 2 years in a row. Carlisle absolutely dominating this game, playing a near-perfect game. The Herd hitting 35 out of 59 shots from the field, 59%, compared to 16 out of 53, 30% for Chambersburg. Carlisle hit 9 out of 15 from the free throw line, 60%. Chambersburg 3 out of 10, 30%. Carlisle's, with their excellent defensive performance again today, forced 21 Chambersburg turnovers. Carlisle turning it over only 13 times, and a big edge on the board. 36 rebounds for Carlisle, only 20 for Chambersburg. Todd Yule getting his medal. John Mazias. And now Billy Owens. Listen to the roar from the crowd. And Lee Woodall, what another fine game Lee Woodall played here this afternoon. Taking a look at the individual statistics, the leading scorer in the ball game, Billy Owens. We didn't know if he'd play today. They told us that he had the flu this morning. He had a fever of 102. He did not come with the team to the game today. Got here late, brought here by his father. Did not come up on the team bus. But what a game Owens played. 34 points, 13 rebounds, 3 dunks, and 2 3-pointers for Billy Owens. Lee Woodall, a fine game, 16 points, 4 rebounds. Michael Coleman, 10 points, 4 rebounds. There's the championship trophy being presented to the District 3 champions, the Carlisle Thundering Herd. Kurt Gramlich, 4 points, 3 rebounds. Todd Yule, 4.6 rebounds. And off the bench, Matt Smith, 8 points. And Sheldon Bream, 2 points and 5 rebounds. For the runner-up, the Chambersburg Trojans, they'll also go on into state championship play. Leading scorer today, Spencer Schaefer with 12 points. He had 6 rebounds. Steve Rotz, 12 points and 7 rebounds. Tyke Quivers, 10 points, 1 rebound. Mike Ryan, 7 points and 2 rebounds. And Sean Schaefer, 7 points, but the center did not get a single rebound. Ken Stepler, the only point off the bench. They went to the bench frequently, using 4 or 5 players off the bench, but Stepler, the only player off the bench to score, and he had only 1 point for Chambersburg. So an easy victory today for Carlisle. They win the district championship by a score of 81-49, and they move on into state tournament play Tuesday night. As we told you earlier, that game will be seen here on Channel 65 beginning at 8:30 on Wednesday evening, and on Carlisle Cable Dow 13 at 7:30 on Wednesday evening. Just a couple final reminders. Racing from Silver Springs, your Silver Springs Speedway racing with Bob Weber will be coming your way every Monday and Wednesday night beginning at 6:30. The Best of Silver Springs on for the next 2 weeks until the new season begins on March 28th, and then it will be the new season of Silver Springs Speedway. And the Harrisburg Senators will be coming your way exclusively on Channel 65, 26 games beginning on April 8th, as we bring you the Senators opener right here on your Metro Harrisburg station for sports. Mike Ropeman saying thanks again for joining us. Once again, the final score, Carlisle 81, Chambersburg 49, the Carlisle Thundering Herd, the District 3 Quad A champions. We'll see you.